that momentum was stymied.
To not have an ice rink, it's mind-boggling. Really.
You believe in miracles? Yes!
It just shows the resiliency and the determination against all odds of, how things can be built.
There's lots of people that go to school at Mizzou that come from all over the country that play hockey that ask, we didn't even know Mizzou had a hockey team. Where's the rink? It's all the way in Jeff City. Where's that? 30, 45 minutes away, and you got to go all the way down there.
We had wanted hockey back in Columbia so badly that when we could play in Jeff City, it was fantastic.
I tried to walk onto the football team and figured out real quick that them guys were really, really big, and I knew absolutely nothing about football. So I decided to go back to a safe sport, which is hockey, because at least there I kind of felt like I knew what I was doing. And then it was after that, it was kind of that winter that I discovered the rink in Jeff City.
When I came to Mizzou and I saw an ad in the paper that there was a stick and puck down here in Jefferson City, so I got together with some other guys that played hockey, and carpooled down for a stick and puck.
We just kind of started going down there, and all of a sudden it's, oh, well, you're so-and-so and you're so-and-so, and you played and you played and you played there and I played there.
I was excited, and it didn't have a cell phone or anything back then, but as soon as I made it, back into Columbia, back into school, I got the phone card out and had to call home long distance and have them ship my equipment down.
For a while, those guys were playing in, I never saw it, but what I was told was actual corners, not hockey corners, actual corners.
Certainly gave a hometown advantage. You couldn't whip the puck around the boards like you do in a normal rink.
It was a bubble at one point in time, but it got struck by lightning and it collapsed.
It blew up the facility, the compressors or whatever that kept the bubble thing alive, and so they built the shell of what it is right now.
My brother told me to bring the gear down as we were to be able to play in some men's league hockey down in Jeff City. So I did just that, and another buddy of mine, he would come down and play as well. He played goalie in St. Louis. His name was Chris Perkins. When we got down there playing a little bit of men's league, we're starting to get to run into some players from St. Louis, and quickly got to learn that there was a lot of talent down at the University of Missouri.
Yeah, my brother's a lot younger. I graduated in '87 from high school. He graduated in '93, and when he came down here, he wanted to play too, so it was kind of cool that, when he came down here, we came down and watched him play. There
was one night where Perkins and I went out and got home late, and we just started sitting around talking a little bit about hockey and all the talent that we had down there. And we just said, why don't we have our team here at Mizzou? We got all the talent in the world down here.
Holiday seasons would come and go in Columbia, but never the gift of a new rink. However, it didn't destroy the Mizzou hockey spirit.
When I came to school down here, I didn't have a car, transportation. Not very many people did. But Sean, luckily, he had a car, and we became friends. I met him down, playing at tryouts.
Mark Brokemarkle became one of my best friends, and we shared a ride. He owned a pet store here in Columbia called Sunshine Pet Shop that John Adams, who ended up living with me when we kind of started the team back up again in the late 80s, ended up working for Mark at the pet store, and we would go down to Jeff City and play stick and puck, and then we all kind of became friends.
The vehicle I used to haul merchandise was an empty cargo van, and I think I threw a bench seat in the back of it, and so we would frequently just pile in that van and head to Jeff City or whatever game we were headed to, wherever it was, and I don't know, there'd be quite a few of us in that van.
Throughout the years, of driving back and forth, and the camaraderie and the people that you meet, guys like Mark Brokemarkle, Sean, John Lamond, all those other guys, once we leave the program and we play in the men's league program. Some people call it the beer league or whatever you want to call it. It's just a tight-knit group because you get to meet people from all over the world that come to a certain area for one thing, and one thing is to play hockey, and it's an awesome game. And it's a game that we all love. You know, I have maybe one or two school friends that have been around the way these guys have been around. You know, these guys have never left. The hockey guys have never left. We're never going to leave. We're going to be there for the guys that are there now. And just as they will be for their guys. You know, it's a special relationship playing hockey.
Washington Park Ice Arena, home of Mizzou Hockey, even when it was roofless.
In 1986, Ed Morelli, myself, and Sean Deaver went to the Jefferson City City Council and asked if we could play hockey at their outdoor rink, which didn't even have any boards at the time. They allowed us to do so. They made some minor improvements to the rink, enough so that we could actually play hockey.
Back then, the rink in Jeff City was outside, and it was square. It had 4 lights, 1 in each corner. The boards were probably 5 foot tall. It's a completely different atmosphere from playing inside a rink, because when it's cold, it's really super cold, especially if you have practices late at night. And we had to pull a tarp off of the top in order to use the ice. And then when we were done, we had to pull the tarp back on to cover the ice. Obviously, we couldn't have very many home games here until the later part of the program because of the rink size. You know, it wasn't legal, but we were lucky that we got to play a lot of our games. We played at the arena before the Blues game started. So we would actually play, a lot of times we played WashU when they had a team, Logan Chiropractic, SLU. So it was always fun. We carpool up to get whatever, guys in whatever cars to get up there. We'd get there well before the Blues game, and we obviously play a few hours before their game, but we'd also always had some friends that worked in the arena club down underneath the seats where we would go head to the bar after the games and meet with the other team and have some beers and drinks and have a good time and watch the Blues game, whoever they were playing. We might play 5 or 6 games a year, not the 20-something that they do now.
I remember playing KU outside, and it was a little warmer, sunny day, and there was getting to be a fair amount of water on top of the ice. And so you could really annoy the other team because, it was definitely home rink advantage. I mean, other teams weren't used to the conditions of the ice. They weren't used to the boards. There was a lot of things they weren't used to. So, you ended up skating around and it ended up becoming a joke. You're going around, you're just taking your stick and slashing the water in somebody's face, or you go into skate and all of a sudden the puck, obviously can't slide, so it just stops and you skate over the top of it. It was one of those things that was just a bunch of guys playing hockey that knew some other guys in other cities that were playing. I mean, we didn't have a coach. We'd take turns being the coach. We would have a late night game at like 10:30 at night, and then we have a 10 o'clock game the next morning. So getting everybody back and everybody that have jobs, because everybody back then was working, and then carpooling to get back down here. We're getting back here on time before getting before the game started. Sometimes at one point, it was last guy in the locker room had to throw the goalie gear on. We had a guy that printed up some just cheap jerseys. We didn't have matching socks, didn't have matching gloves or anything, but we all did have a Mizzou sweatshirt or t-shirt jersey that we would wear. It was just a basic nylon jersey with, the air holes through it, probably one of the least expensive jerseys you could buy. There were no locker rooms. We sat in the lobby upstairs on folding chairs and got dressed out in front of everybody. They sometimes would try to put towels as curtains to make makeshift, but it didn't really work when you have so many guys, wanting to get dressed. But
we did what we could do just so we could play the game that we love.
As the years progressed, so did the Missouri hockey program.
You know, we went out and we designed our jerseys, and we had them made for all the players. I actually have, this is the first years. This is year 1 and year 2. So we had Missouri, black jersey, Missouri, cross, and then obviously we had the numbers on the back. That was year 1 and year 2. By year 3, they got really good. They were even better quality. This is a really good quality jersey, but these were better. It was more of a hockey type jersey. We had stitched, and it was stitched Missouri from this shoulder down, and obviously stitched letters on the back.
A couple years after that, they put boards in the corners, some plywood to make the corners actually round. And then a year after that, they built a bubble over the top, and it was there for a few years, but it was still chain link fence instead of glass on the inside.
The chain link fence that covered the top of the boards was pretty brutal. I went to the hospital. I got 13 stitches in my arm one time from warm-ups. I got cut. I taped it up, played the game, and then Sean and I went to the hospital to get me sewn up.
It's a different type of game when you're playing on chain link. The plexiglass doesn't exist, so the clears off the glass don't happen. They don't go very far when they hit chain link. When you're getting checked into the boards with any type of momentum, you're going to get, your elbow pad's going to get snagged, your shoulder pad's going to get snagged, your jersey's going to tear. It's just inevitable. It's just a interesting way to play hockey, but it's all that we had. We had locker rooms, we had benches, we had ice, we had a Zamboni, we had water. I mean, what else do you need?
Affiliation.
We had a situation where the league won't let us unless we're affiliated with the university, and the university won't let us become affiliated unless we're part of a league. So we did a decision to make, and we learned about where their board of directors meeting was, and we let them know that we're going to be coming up there and wanted to join them and talk about our potential enrollment in their division.
At the time, they had to go up to Iowa, where the Central League office was, to make sure that we were signed up each year. He and a buddy named Chris Perkins, the program was kind of fading, or it may have faded out at that time, and they got together and they drove back, drove up there, and then what they got the program back, whatever, you have to petition, I guess, the club in order to get, back into the systems.
But they rightfully so pushed back and said that they wanted us to sit out a year and just get everything completely buttoned up before we join. But we didn't think that was fair, so we pushed back on them and told them that, hey, this thing's ready to go, and we want to join this year. And they granted, but they granted it on what they called a trial basis, which basically all that meant was they were going to come down, and each of the schools was going to have a weekend trip full of hockey just to see what we're all about and if we could live up to what we were talking about. So it was great. So we're part of the league, and that's pretty exciting, but we still had one other problem. We weren't affiliated with the University of Missouri. So we went back to them, and we thought it was going to be real easy. They were just going to automatically grant us in, but it wasn't. We had to jump through a lot of hoops.
So they did that. They were one of the ones that brought it back again. There were several throughout the years.
Let me repeat that. One of the ones that brought it back.